Hi, it's Stampin' Up with the Crafty Chick. How are you doing? So here is the next video for the 1st and the 15th series, and today we are going to be playing with this Florentine Filigree stamp set. And we're going to have to use the Stamparatus in order to do that. I've already put these on here, and I don't want to reset them, but I will show you how I did that. I'm not going to lie, it took me a couple days to get used to this Stamparatus and used to the way that this particular stamp set bundle works with the die and everything. It was not easy at first. I had a couple of tries, like quite a few. Some of them came out horrid, some came out alright. And then here's where I'm playing with my color palette. And so these I used with the powder pink paper, Fleur de Flamingo ink, and then I was going to back it with the berry burst. And this was like my first try. I call it my prototype, and it may look okay from there, but I'm not going to get close so that you can see all of the horrible mistakes and how off center it is. So I tried doing that, and then I decided I wanted brighter color, something that's going to pop. So I was trying to play with the lemon lime twist, some more of the flamingo, and then some gorgeous grape, and then I decided to try some grapefruit grove, and then on the side I mixed grapefruit grove with garden green and gorgeous grape, and this is what we're going to use. This is going to be our final, this makes the final cut. So to get this started is not easy. First of all, not to say that the final product isn't worth it, but not all projects are easy. And it takes me a long time to do a project because sometimes I feel like the easier it is, the less fulfillment I get out of it. So if I can come up with a project, if I can complete a project that I consider to be difficult and I can get it to work, I am amazingly super duper triple pleased. So first of all, we're going to get a blank piece of paper, and I'm going to show you what to do to get this going. Now, doing this assuming that you already know how to use a Stamparatus and everything else. I will have a different video showing how to use a Stamparatus, and in the meantime, I'm sure there are about 1,000 others. Okay. Where is my Thinlit? I have been working on this for days, so I'm spread out all over this desk. Here it is. So this is the Thinlit that goes with this set, and it is easily found on page 40 of your Occasions catalog, your 2019 Occasions catalog. That's available online. You can look at the catalog in a PDF format online, or you can get it free from me with a purchase. Anyone who's already purchased anything from me has already gotten the catalog. It is free for my current customers. Anyone who has not purchased one from me, I do need to ask, I'll give you the catalog for free, but I do need to ask that you pay the shipping, which is usually between $2 and $3. It's very minimal. It's about $2 to $4 for the annual catalog, and this is a lot lighter and thinner, so it's probably going to be closer to $2. And I use PayPal for shipping, so it is slightly discounted on top of that. So the occasion catalog on page 40 also has the directions on how you can do this. And basically, the directions say to cut out one of these, which we'll do in a minute. Cut out one of these, and this is what you get. And you want to use one as your template. Mine is covered in a bunch of pink ink because I'm going to use it as my template. I chose to use a color other than white because I'm probably going to be using white paper 99% of the time, if not 100% of the time that I use this particular bundle. So I wanted my template to be something other than white. Now I did create a template originally using acetate that I had left over from some box or other, and it was difficult because it was see-through, and so it made it even harder to line this up. So to line this up, I chose a certain position on the board. You can choose any position on the board that you want. This is metallic, so your magnets stick. Within the first hour of using this, I broke my magnets already. Bright side is I now have 3 magnets. But I did tape the heck out of the ends because it is sharp and you can cut yourself. And I'm not buying another set of magnets after 1 hour. I'll just break those too. And I also wrapped around some tape. Oopsie. I've seen some people use washi tape or other tape. I used clear packing tape because the washi tape started to rip. But basically, if you put a piece of tape on it and then... can you see my tape? Probably. Yeah. I just pull it off. I have no nails. I used to have beautiful nails, but the more I craft, the less conducive having beautiful long nails is to my lifestyle. So this is very strong. Now you have, of course, as with a lot of products that you use in crafting, there's a ruler measurement that comes with it, and nice graph paper, and it has the Stampin' Up! Logo there, and then it also comes with this nice little pad and the Stampin' Up! Logo there, and it comes with 2 of these, and you can get more if you want. Having 2 of these is almost like having 4, simply because you can use the other side. And you're only using this part, so if you have 17 stamps that you want to put on, you could space them out. For now, I will put these back here. So I can do this part. Alright, first and foremost, I like to have this in the corner, upper left corner, because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, it works just as well this way. And sure, if you're left-handed, that would work well that way too. And either way. Right hand, left hand, I think this tool will work for both. Second, find a spot where you want to work. Oops, I already got some white chalk there. Find the spot you want to work on and make sure that when you're doing this particular project or any project that you make a note of where you're going to put your paper or workspace. So every time you come back to do it, it's the same. This particular one, I decided I was going to do it right there. I kind of cheated a little bit. So I took my Stampin' Chalk marker and I marked that spot. And it's very easily erasable. After it dried, I was able to just go like that with my chamois, and then wipe it nice and dry with a tissue. And there, it's all clean. This is wipeable. Also, what I did is I marked white there and then made sure it came through on here. And I'll tell you why. I think I might have done it upside down and backwards. Sure I did, because that's just how I roll. Alright, let's see if I can get this off. Nope. Alright. So, it's probably better if I just use some kind of washi tape or something. And the reason why I marked that is because I'm trying to do this. I have to use the foam. As one of the other demonstrators put it, you have to use foam in the equation, okay? If you have red, clear, or cling rubber stamps, then that's fine because you have that height that you need in order to stamp correctly. You can stamp without it, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult because of the space between here and here. And what I was trying to do was to line this up nicely. So I have my project lined up here, and I was trying to be kind of tricky by lining it up like that and then flipping it over like that, and it pretty much worked. But that's not the right spot. Yeah, it's going to be there, so it's kind of opposite, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Let's try this again. Yeah, I want it this way. Interesting. I think it goes there. Okay, so both the Stampin', so you'll see the Stampin' Up! Emblem, put it on top of that one. There we go. Because this one corner is rounded. So I'm going to put this where I want it. Right side down on the corner. And do this. There. Now, it moved a little bit. This is not easy. There's another demonstrator who actually got graph paper and laminated it and put more magnets and magnets on top of that, and that's just genius. But right now I don't have the patience or time or whatever to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and mark. That's where I want my paper to be. I'm using my chalk marker, and so I made a mark. I'll probably end up with a bajillion marks by the time my life is over, but there we go. I have some place now. I know where I want to put my doohickeys. Stamps. This is how I set it up originally. You put this down here and put the magnet down and hold it. Line it up very carefully against the lines. Make sure it's straight. With this particular one, it's extremely important that it be straight because we're going to have to line it up with something else. So that was the hardest part for me to figure out. This is the piece that we cut out from the template, which we will do in a minute or on another section of this video. Right now I want to focus on how to line up the stamps. Move the there. Line up the corners of this piece that we cut out. Make sure you hold it very, very carefully. So you're going to take this out of your little box, and I am going to take it off after all so you can see. This is what it looks like. It doesn't matter which way you do it, this way or this way. Yours will be clean. Mine is stained because I've been using it for a couple of days. You'll want to, let's see if I can get this closer. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Yes. So what you're going to want to do is line up these with this. This part is going to be tricky because if you notice on the ends here is only a partial hole. So on the tops, bottoms, and the sides, there's only partial holes. So that's going to be the trickiest part. But you can feel, just press down in the holes and you can feel it popping in there. Then take your Stamparatus. Now since I'm starting at a little bit lower, I'm going to go ahead and move this down a couple of notches so it matches up with that. And careful, because I don't know about anybody else, but my stickers, my poly stamps stick like crazy to the paper and just lift it right up. So I'm going to test it for a minute. Let's see. This did move a little smidgy. Okay, and then you're going to pretty much do this but with ink on it, and I'm just trying to line it up for my own sake to make sure it's going to work. And we're going to do the same thing with this. So what I did was I put this down. Ooh, see? It's off center. Can you see? Nope. Okay. It's off center because I've got this piece of paper in a different place than I had it before, apparently. So let's go ahead and move this. Line it up in the holes. Make sure it's in there pretty good. Okay. Press and make sure you hold your paper down while you put this up. There. Okay. Is it still lined up? Yes. Okay, so it should be lined up with the rest of the lines. Okay, now the tricky part is holding down the paper. I'm going to take this off. There. Sorry, I was putting the magnet in my mouth. So we're going to ink up our stamps, and it should line up, and we're done. Keep our fingers crossed. So I'm going to alternate my green, garden green. I only have this little Stampin' Spot. If I get these in the paper pumpkin, then I don't buy a bigger one. Why not? Why should I? Right? Right. That's why I love the paper pumpkin, because you get, by the time you're done at the end of the year, you have all the colors. Now, as you can see, that did stick because we're using the photopolymer on here without using the sponge, which is not the suggested use, because they want you to get a good stamp image, and you need to use this for the photopolymer. However, it's impossible, like I showed you, to perfectly line this up unless you have it on the grid. So you can still use the grid. You're just going to have to press really hard. And so I'm using this color. I'm going to alternate to my next line. Let's ink this up. And press. You really got to press because there is a gap on this side. Yep. See how that didn't quite make it? Ink this up a little bit more. Just that one. And press. That's why they want you to use that foam. Still didn't quite make it. Let's get that corner. There we go. Now it's good. And ink this up, and then we'll do it again with the sponge underneath it, and you'll see it's probably easier using the sponge. I'm going to have to move my magnet now because the height of the magnet is going to keep my stamps from coming down even. Yeah, this one on the end just does not. There. So I have those 3 rows of the green. Now I'm going to clean this off with the chamois. And I'm going to, I always use scratch paper, just make sure I got all of the ink off there. I don't want to have green on my Grapefruit Grove row. I'm going to do this a little differently than some people. They go like that. To me, that makes a ginormous mess, and I just smear all that. I did it with this because it's easier to control, but I prefer to go ahead and do this because I'm controlling how much ink gets on there, and it doesn't get on the plastic, which is technically not supposed to smear, but I've had that happen before, so especially when I have to press down so hard. See how that didn't come out all the way, and I can see the ink is still there. There we go. That's the beauty of this. If you make a mistake, you can just come back and do it again. Make sure this is full coverage. And I'm going to skip that row and go to the next row. There we go. Oops, that one didn't go because of the magnet and the plastic hanging off the magnet. There we go. I'm going to move this. Oops, see, my paper moved. Wonder if I just need to tape it down. That would be so much easier than messing with this. Let's see. Yep, that's still pretty much good. Alright, so I'm going to do one more row of the Grapefruit Grove. Press really hard. Okay, so this may look uneven, but I think it's the paper that might be uneven, or it moved on me, which is entirely possible as well. Now we're going to do the purple. Close this up. And we're going to now use the gorgeous grape, which is gorgeous. I love it, love it, love it. And we're going to ink this up. Like I said, I like to do it myself. I'm barely touching it because this is super juicy. Yeah, that's my first row. Get on there. There we go. Ink, 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 ink. Ink, ink, up. Ink you up. There we go. Second row. Okay. Third row. This is a smaller impression surface area, so it's faster and easier. Okay, so we're done with that. And there you have it. We went from a blank page to that. Pretty cool. Now I'm going to show you, I got some ink on my hand. I'll show you how it works with the foam mat and the photopolymer. Just using my chamois and some clean tissue to wipe it off. Let's see. Which one? Which one? Nope. Well, if we put it down like that. Okay, now I'm completely baffled. I put this little line here and I'm trying to figure out. Alright, well, we'll forget about that line. I'm just going to try to do it the way I did it before. As long as you line everything up, that's fine. So, I can tell just by looking at this that I need this to be lined up on that one. Interesting. I think I lined it up on this one when I was first doing it. Yeah. See, this is why you want to keep track of where things are. Yep, I can just tell because that's supposed to be half of it is supposed to be on the paper. So it was there. So it probably would have been a good idea to make a mark or something right there. So I did on here, but is that where this was? No. Let's see. So that's how we're going to put it there, okay? And then you can just double check it before you ink up to make sure it looks pretty much like it was before. And it kind of doesn't. Is that where I wanted it? No. Right there. Yeah, actually we do want it up a little higher because I need to end up with, right? Put this back and we shall see. Okay, so that's where we had it. Boop. Okay. Yeah, so I could just put this right there, right over it. That's where we had it. You can just layer your papers if you want. Oh, phooey, I already got ink on that side. I left my ink pad open. Yep. It's scrapped now. Okay. Oops, it is not lined up exactly. Gotta make sure it's lined up exactly because it does make a difference in the end. A little off miscalculation here and there adds up. So I gotta wipe this off. Make sure. There. I don't have any extra stuff on there. Okay. So we are going to do this again. We're going to start with Grapefruit Grove this time. And make sure I don't have any green on there. A little bit. In between here a little bit. Okay. And we'll start at the top. There we go. Do you see how much easier that was because we have the height that we need? Whoops. Yeah, and I'm going to... Oh, boy. Okay, there. Easily fixed. Now... I'm going to skip this row and do the next row. Okay, do you see how much easier that was to do with the foam underneath it? A lot easier. And we're going to skip that row and we're going to do this row. So much easier. It's a little bit harder to set up when you have the foam there, unless you want to cut out a piece of graph paper and put it on there, which I could do if I could scare up some graph paper somewhere. I'm sure I have some around here somewhere. This is coming off. Stay. Why don't you want to stick? There. Get some... Whoops, see? I'm just knocking things all over the place. Wow, wow, wow. Alright, I'm going to use my stamps to realign this. There. I'm going to probably should use more than one of these magnets. My fear is because I used more than one magnet before and that's how they got stuck together and broke. Okay. And sometimes they get in the way when you are trying to stamp. I'm going to do the second row. It's faded. I want it to be a little bit darker, so we'll just get that up a little bit more. Perfect. Much better. Skip a row and go to the next row. Now, This is really cute enough. I don't even have to put in the other half, the crosses, really, if I didn't want to. This is pretty cute, just as a background, without even using the die set. See, I can just go over this as many times as I need to until I think it looks perfect. And so now this row is lighter because I went over the other one a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is darken up this row. I want this to be a little bit darker to offset the lightness of the Grapefruit Grove. There we go. And then I gotta move this down 1 or 2. Yeah, we'll move it a little bit. And I have to put one less row of the garden green at the bottom. Now you are going to get ink on your sponge for this one because it hangs over the side. Or, you know, it's a partial. You only want a partial print at the bottom of the page. If I didn't mention that before, because there's only a partial hole at the bottom. So if you go off the paper, you are going to get on here. Now I've done that a couple times and I haven't had any problems. Come on, get on there. Why don't you want to stick? It's kind of dirty. Right now, we'll go ahead and do this one. Whoops, that's why I don't do it that way. I've already made a mess. But this just is not wanting to stick on the plastic for some reason. Alright, we're going to do the first row and move that magnet out of the way for a sec. Boop. Perfect the first time, see? And I just barely, I don't have to touch it because this grape is really dark and juicy. Oops, I missed a spot on with my there. So I don't know if you can see, I was doing it off camera I think, but I'm just going like this. Just touching it lightly, not pressing down real hard. Barely, just lightly touching it. And as you can see, the ink dries real fast, so if you're sliding your magnets all over the place, you see it does not smear the ink at all. And I'm just kissing it. Boop, boop, boop. It's so much faster when you use the mat. Now remember, you don't have to use the mat for your red ones, just the clear ones, just these photopolymer rather. The red ones sometimes are referred to as clear. We also have the cling stamps, which are going to be great for this because they're going to cling like crazy, which is what you want. Now the second part of this, oopsie, already stuck together. Oh, for goodness sake, please don't break that one again. Everybody in their corner. Move that over to the side. So this one we did previously with one color of the big one and one of the little one. So you just pretty much you're going to want to find a row, just one row, and line it up. This is not going to line up exactly every time. It's not supposed to. So this is, of course, my template, so it's pretty filthy. We're not going to use this to make a card. No, no, no. We are going to make a new one. So now, after we've done however many of these that we want to do, let's go ahead and cut out our template. So I'm trying to figure out what color I want to use with this. I want to use a coordinating color. Now, if I use the same color that's in any of this, it might drown out the other colors. And nope, I don't want to use that. That is rich raspberry. I need to go look at my color wheel. Which is printed, or not printed rather, it's on my computer, but let's see, these three are really pretty. They go together, and I like these very much. You could also use the Granny Apple Green, but I wanted to use the darker green this time. And I think we are going to use the peach paper because that is light and the other two will stand out. Or could we use the pumpkin pie paper? Yeah, that's a little darker and it would make everything stand out nicely. Or we could get, what other colors do we have there? We have some green. There's the Granny Apple Green, which is a lighter version. And that's pretty as well. So you can see there's so many different options that you have, the different colors you can use. I think I'm going to go with the orange one. Maybe pumpkin pie. Where's Grapefruit Grove? I know I have some here somewhere. What else do we have? Purple. We have some gorgeous grape paper. Now that might be what we want to make it pop. I have some here somewhere. Let's see. This is it, the Brights. I believe it is. It should be in there. Right? Nope. It's going to be with the 20 colors. Let's see. I have the Subtles and the Regals and the 2020. Here we go. So it should be in here. I had to get some more. I ran out of it when I made all my Halloween cards. So I do believe I have some in here. Right? Gorgeous Grape. No. Okay. Where would that one be? A quick look in our annual catalog will tell us. Page 180 is where all the colors are. I go to that a lot, so that's why I know where it is. Highland Heather. No, Gorgeous Grape is in the Brights. I was right. I picked that one up the first time. Right, here we go. Let's see. There it is, Gorgeous Grape. Oops, come on, plastic, open, open, open. It's better be the color I want after all that. Oh yeah, now that is really gonna, so you see you could make it soft using that color or that color, but it really pops with this color, doesn't it? That's gorgeous. That's why it's called Gorgeous Grape. So we could put that color over it. Actually, I think I'm going to put that one in the background. And I will put a lighter color over it. So we're going to go with Let's try the grainy green. Let's try that one. It's coordinating, but it's not already in the color scheme that we've used. So, whoops, I have a lot of extra pieces. I keep all of my scraps. Sometimes I wonder, what am I going to do with these? And then a project will come up and I'll say, oh boy, I'm glad I kept those. I know you guys probably do the same thing. Alright, now let's move these out of the way and get our big shot. And if you missed it, I did do my big shot giveaway during my occasions and celebration kickoff party, and I'm also going to post this video in that party as well. But we did have a big shot winner for the second quarter, and so I'm also going to do that for the third quarter, which is January through March. So anyone who places an order with me or cumulative orders of $100 or more gets an entry into the Big Shot giveaway. This is a little bit big, so we're going to cut that down. And we want to waste as little paper as possible, so let's go ahead and measure our die and see. It is 4 by 5 1/4. I could have looked on the book bag, but that's okay. So I want to make this a little bit bigger than that. So let's make this, I'll make it 6 because I have that tear on the side. And then we'll cut it at 4 1/2. Just to give it a little bit of extra room. So it should fit right on here very nicely. Yep, perfect. Okay, and we're going to run this through. I'm using the magnetic platform plate, and I'm putting this underneath it. That's one of the cutting plates, and then I'm going to put this on top. I like to do it directly on there because it holds it snug, and if I put it on top of one of the cutting plates, sometimes it doesn't stay, the magnet. Alright, moving things around. I had a cutting plate. Ladies and gentlemen, have we seen a missing cutting plate on the floor? There it is. Make sure my plates are straight. And we're going to hear some snap, crackle, and pop. And I just shook the whole world with this. There we go. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. It gives you a little bit. You can put it through again if you want to emboss it, but I don't really care about all those puffy dots. And then you also have these cute little extras if you want to use them for something. And these. Okay, get that off of my plate. Put these away. I store these in a shoebox on my shelf right next to my Big Shot. That way I always know where they are, and then they're not falling off the shelf. If you'll notice, this did not cut the paper. It scored it. So the piece that we cut was 4 by 6, right? And that's still the piece that we left with. And what happened is it scored it 1/8 inch. So you can either cut it right there on the score line, or you can use the score line as a decoration. Now let's go ahead and get our piece of paper, and let's see how pretty that's going to look. Oh my. So this is not going to line up exactly like I said before. So we're going to pick a row. Just pick a row in the middle. Line up the middle as best you can. Especially since mine moved a little bit when I was stamping. That's gorgeous. What I did on some of my other ones is I doubled up the paper because I wanted to give it some extra height. This one is 1 sheet and this is 2 sheets. So I don't know if you can even tell that this is the 2 sheets, and it gives it a little bit of extra height, because that's how it looks like they did it in the book. It looks like they doubled it up because it really looks so much sharper. What we're going to try right now is, I want to try using some dimensionals so it'll be up. Nope, I don't like that. I can already tell I'm not going to like it. So we're going to get some glue. I don't prefer glue, but in cases like this, let's get our silicone glue mat. In cases like this, we don't have much of a choice because this is going to be too narrow for our tape. Isn't it? Not maybe on the back, but on this piece. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's going to be probably too narrow. Maybe. It would be there. I don't know. Let's give it a try. That's why I like to leave an extra length here. Let's try it. Where's my tape? Tapey tape, tape, tape. I thought I had some tearing tape. I do have some really thin tape, and we'll try that. I had some tearing tape around here, the fat kind, but I'm going to put it close to the end because I'm not close to the inside edge rather, because I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to cut off, or if I'm going to cut any off at all. God, I had this really thin tape. There we go. I try not to use glue on certain things that have small pieces because I don't like to have this, that sticky glue feel. Now, if you can glue and you can do it in a tidy manner, wow, more power to you. I am not one of those folks. Alright, so before I get this stuck, I want to go ahead and line up as best I can. Pick the big ones. When I say pick a row, pick one of the big rows, not the little ones, not the little crosses. Pick the larger image. And the reason why I say pick a row and then try to adjust it as best you can is because this is not going to be perfect. I struggled with this for so long because I wanted it to be perfect. And here I am trying to struggle with it again after I tell you not to. But I'm so OCD, it's really hard for me not to. Okay. Now this is lifting. I guess that's okay, since we didn't glue it down. But that's what it looks like. And it comes out rather pretty, don't you think? That's how you make it. Now I have to decide how I'm going to do this card. Oh, that's going to be real pretty. See how that is? Oh, that's going to be so pretty. Look at that. And I think I'll get a light colored ribbon to put on it. That's going to be pretty, pretty. So let's see how big we want this to be then. We're going to have a regular A2 size card. So actually, I may not have room for a second backing, or will I? Probably. So let's go ahead and cut this in half. It's 8.5 by 11, so I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. So we can end up with my half a card. Did I do that right? Because I want to end up with this piece bigger, 5 1/2. Okay. So I made this a little bigger because, let's see, will it fit? Yeah, or was this the one we want? Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to put this around it, and then we're going to put this on a card. But the cards are A2. Let's see. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I've already got this scored. I like to have these cut and scored in advance, so I just have to pop these on. No, we already know this is bigger than that. My card may have to be bigger than an A2 for this to work, but let's see. So I'm going to cut this a little bit off on the edge here. Not sure how much. First, let's cut off this extra piece of white paper. That's Whisper White. And carefully, I'm going to start in the middle because it doesn't shred as much if you do that. And go this way. I found that if you go this way with more than one layer of paper, it cuts better than going that way. It doesn't shred it so much. That came out good. Alright, so we're going to, so I'm leaving 1/8 of an inch after the imprint on the end there, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And hoping that I get it straight. Oops, that's pretty thick. Ah, I went through the glue, that's why. See if I can just cut that piece off a little bit. I got real close there because of the glue, so it's a good thing I put the glue very close as well. Where do I want to go with this one? I might have cut it too close. I might have wanted to cut a little bit less than that since they glued it so close. But that's okay. There. See, I did it the wrong way and it kind of shredded a little bit. Let's go this way. Go down so we can clean that up a bit. I might have to get my scissors. Oh, there it goes. And now we'll do it this way, just a little bit. Okay. It's not quite straight. Better. Now I guess I could have pre-cut this before gluing it together, but I wasn't sure how I wanted this to be or how big. So this side's a little rough. Let's go ahead and just clean that piece off there. See, the sides, these sides are fatter than the top, but that's okay. So then what I want to do is do it another 1/8 inch out. So that's going to be, it's 4 1/4. So we should be okay with 4 1/2, right? Or do I want a little bit more than that? More of that peeking out than just 1/8. I want 1/4 on each side. Yeah, let's go with 4 3/4 and see how that works. Nope, I can take a little bit more off. Okay, so we'll go with 4 1/2 after all. Yeah, one more. Boop. Okay, we can, should be 4 1/2. Yep, okay, so now we're going to have, there, yep, that's pretty. I do a lot of the measuring, if I already know what it is I'm going to do, but since we don't, I'm just playing it by ear, and I really just want that to peek out, so that's pretty. So let's make sure it's measured properly. That's 4 1/4, and that is 4 1/2 and a smidge. Is that? Looks like it's a little bit. Yep. Okay, that's perfect. And then this is 5 1/2. So we're going to go 5 1/2 and another 1/4, and that will be our background. It's really gonna pop. That is gorgeous. Gorgeous! Alright, now, this was, what, 4 1/2, right? 4 1/2, boop, or 5 3/4. So this is definitely bigger than an A2 card. So if you want to put an extra piece behind it, yeah, it'll have to be bigger than an A2 for sure. But that is beautiful, isn't it? That came out just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right. So thanks for creating with me. And this is aCraftyChick saying, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. You can do it. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Sometimes it just takes a little tenacity and patience and gumption and the desire to do it, really. So that came out really beautiful, and it started out as a frustrating project. I do like the way this came out too. So this is more or less what they show in the book, the colors using here. This is powder pink and Flirty Flamingo ink, powder pink paper, and then I just did make it the A2 size. So it's smaller. So, see, you could just triple layer it. So this is the grainy green, grainy green apple. If I can say it right, grainy apple green. Gotta get that right. And then we also used the garden green ink, and we used the gorgeous Grape ink, and we used the Grapefruit Grove ink and the granny apple paper. So that the gorgeous Grape paper. So that's our palette that we used for this, and I think it came out kind of sharp. I think it came out nice, truly. And we learned a little bit about how to use the Stamparatus and the Big Shot. So I hope you join me next time, and we will be doing another set from the Occasions catalog. We will be doing the garage, the classic garage, and I might have a couple of videos on that one because those are so versatile. Or I might try to do a couple of cards in one video and go a little bit faster, since that one should be less practice and more of what I'm better at doing. This is the first time I've done something like this, and it was a challenge. I have to say it was a challenge, but I'm really pleased with how it came out, and I'm glad I stuck with it. So I hope you join me again next time when we craft together. This is aCraftyChick saying goodbye and happy crafting. And thanks for joining me. I will see you later.